This is Candidates Tournament 2024 Round 4. In this game, Nepomniachtchi play with white pieces and Vidit Gujrathi play with black pieces. So Nepomniachtchi starts with e4 and Vidit replies with e5. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, Roy López opening. Knight f6 and the white castles kingside. Knight takes e4, b4, knight d6. So white exchange his bishop. Bishop takes knight, d takes bishop. D takes e5, knight f5. Queen takes queen, king takes queen. Knight c3, bishop d7. h3, h6. g5, knight e7. Knight h2, g5. f4, g takes f4, bishop takes f4. Bishop e6, knight e4. So next move is knight c5. So black continue with b6 to prevent knight c5. Knight f3. So next move is knight d4. So black continue with c5 and prevent knight d4. Knight f6, king c8. So black want to move his king on b7 to create space for this rook. King b7, king g3, a5, a3, a4, rook d1. So now knight can't move to d5 because knight covers this d5 square and also rook covers this d5 square. So black continue with knight c6, c3 to prevent knight d4, bishop e7, knight h4. So white want to move his knight on f5, h5, g5, rook a5, rook e1. So if black move to c4 and then create pressure on e5 with knight and rook, so rook can support this e5 pawn. Rook b5, bishop c1, rook b3, and this rook is in awkward position. So this rook can't do anything. g6, f takes g6, knight takes g6. And the rook has no options on h file. So black move his rook on d8. Knight takes bishop, knight takes knight, knight takes h5. So black can give a check. Then pressure on h3 with bishop and the rook. So black give a check with rook d3. Rook f3, rook takes rook, king takes rook. Bishop takes h3, e6. And this pawn is very dangerous because this pawn is only 2 moves far from promoting square. And if black take this pawn, then black will down in material. So black continue with b5 and then black try to open this rook. So white continue with bishop g5 and create pressure on knight. So white can move his pawn. Knight d5, e7. So white's pawn is only one move far from promoting square. So black has only one option. Bishop d7, rook d1 to create pressure on bishop. So black can't move his knight because after moving knight, rook takes bishop comes, and after knight takes rook, this pawn will promote into queen. So black continue with king c6, king e4, and the pressure is on knight, and the knight can't move because after moving knight, rook takes bishop comes, and the knight can't take this rook because this pawn will promote. And if king takes rook, then knight g7 comes and the knight covers e8 square. So black can't stop this pawn. So after king e4, black continue with bishop e8 to create pressure on knight. So white take this d5 knight. Rook takes knight, bishop takes knight, bishop c1. So again, this rook is trapped. So black give a check with bishop g6. King e5, b4. Try to open this rook. King f6. So white leave his rook. But black can't take this rook. Because after king takes rook, king takes bishop comes, and this pawn will promote into queen. Bishop e8, rook d8, and finally black open his rook. B takes a3, b takes a3, bishop d7, and the final move from white, king f7, and after king f7, black resigned here. Reason for resign is simple. Black can't stop this pawn. If black take this pawn, then rook takes bishop, and the king can't take this rook because this pawn promote into queen, and the king has only one move. And after king d6, queen e6, and the checkmate. And if black continue with rook f3 check, then king e6, and the bishop covers e3 square. So black can't give a check. And after rook f1, rook d3 comes to cover e3 square. So white will easily promote his pawn. So after king f7, black resigned.